I don't really mean to be rude, but you look like garbage rats. You look like you crawled out a sewer and the infestation, and you look like garbage.
Hello kitties, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kira, I'm better known as Afro Kitty on social media, and for those of you who don't know what I do, I am an artist that loves to talk about dolls, cartoons, movies, and anime, and in today's video I will be addressing something a little bit more serious regarding the upcoming live action movie of Monster High that's going to premiere on Paramount and Nickelodeon, I think on October the 16th. Not the 16th, the 6th. I don't know how y'all say those numbers, girl. English is not my first language. Anyway, let's begin. And before actually I begin, I want to say thank you for 60 subscribers. I think that's a huge goal for me because I didn't expect it to blow up. Some of my videos to at least blow up in my mind, because blowing up people might think it's like 1,000, 1K, 2K, but for me, having at least 500 people watching my videos, I think that's a lot of people, because when you think about it in a building setting, when you're around people, like let's think about the mall, like, and you're around 500 people, like even 60 people is a lot for me. So I'm grateful for everyone who follows my content and likes my content, and cheers for more people. Cheers for more content as well. So yeah, let's begin. So in this video, I initially was going to talk about the outfits and the cast. I will talk about the cast, but I was initially just going to critique the outfits. But I think you can really find a lot of people's opinions that are very similar to how I feel. You can find those in TikTok, so I just really thought it wasn't that necessary. So instead, I wanted to focus more on casting, the whitewashing of the cast, the blatant changes of the storyline that they did, and also I wanted to talk about the director and what was it? I know it was something else. I'm so sorry. I know it was a direct. Oh, and also the harassment the creator of Monster High was receiving. So at first, I'm gonna talk about kind of like my opinion. I know I give it at the end, but I also wanted to point out how I feel like a lot of people had a lot of expectations when Monster High made a comeback. I think it was in 2020, back when the pandemic was happening, and they decided to make a comeback, and they were talking about all the projects that they were trying to do for 2022. And a lot of people were excited. I was excited, but at the same time, I was like, you know what? I don't have a lot of expectations if you're collaborating with Nickelodeon. I'm not, directing hate towards Nickelodeon. It's just that, for example, Nickelodeon live action movies are not going to be the best, especially when it's a TV program directed to kids. It's not always going to be the greatest, like the highest budget. The costumes aren't always going to be the best. And we already seen the costumes, and I'm pretty sure right now we've been seeing some of the movie clips here and there. And yeah, like it's not that wow. And so a lot of people had a lot of expectations for the movie and were very excited, and then we're just left disappointed. I was not that I didn't have a lot of expectations when it came to the movie, because I knew that it wasn't going to be that bad, the best thing ever. Also, I was having like my doubts when it came to Monster High because of how they were selling some of these dolls nowadays. Like some of the dolls look so cheap nowadays, and they're so pricey. For what? For what? And if you're curious, I did some videos discussing some of the dolls of these past months, and even I think even the one last year, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken, yeah. Anyways, you can go see that. I'm gonna link it down below, or I'm gonna put it in the screen so you can go and see that later on. Anyways, let's focus on now, right? And yeah, I think that's all I wanted to say. And I also feel like the movie that they're doing is not for us, not for the generation that grew up watching Monster High. I think it's more for this generation, the people who are beginning to know more about Monster High, right? Like the 10-year-olds to the 15-year-olds that are getting to know Monster High now. I'm not sure. Let me know what you think though. What's your kind of theory on that? And yeah, let's just begin, right? Anyways, let me tell you something. What makes the fans think that they were gonna get something really good? I know it's like the hype and like this nice thing of bringing back something that we grew up in, and then when you come see it, first of all, Nickelodeon budget is not that great. Like, do not expect the outfits to look like fucking Marvel movie, good costumes. No, because it's Nickelodeon. Nickelodeon ain't gonna give you something really nice. Like, at least not how the fans expected, how I expected the outfits to look. Because the problem is, I don't think it's even the outfits. I think is that the characters look very human to be monsters. That's the thing. The only thing that makes them look outside of humans is like the face paint. And I think even the face paint looks fake as hell. But that's the only thing I'm going to talk about, the costumes and shit, because again, I wanted to preface something else and not that. So yeah. Now first we got to share the premise. You know, we got to talk about the premise. So now the story of this movie is going to focus on Claudine. It's not gonna be Frankie. It's not gonna be Draculaura, because Frankie had her shine in the beginning of the brand. She was like the main character. Then when they did the reboot back in 2017, it was Draculaura who was the main character, and now the spotlight is on Claudine. Now, for some reason in this movie, they made Claudine not lesbian, even though the creator of this brand said, in fact, he said that yeah, she's lesbian. But no, in this storyline, Claudine is straight and she's in love with Deuce. It's a mess already because you did not put the OG couple together. Now you have her messing around with Claudine for some reason again. But that's not the premise. That's a part of the premise, but let's just really focus on that. So the story goes around Claudine and her trying to figure out how to solve a problem from Monster High that threatens to reveal her real identity, which she is, I was gonna say biracial, but she's not. She's like a hybrid. She's half human, half werewolf, and we've known in the brand, in the story, that monsters and humans don't get along well. So, you know, she might get exiled pretty much. And then Claudine, she must learn to embrace her true monster heart and find a way to save the day alongside her new friends, which probably is Frankie and Draculaura. Now, this is like information I found on the internet and on Instagram and TikTok. You can also find it yourself. And there's also trailers and like sneak peeks, again, like I mentioned in the beginning of the movie. I think they already spoiled the whole movie for all we know. And who does this? I'm very curious to who does this, actually. Because this is gonna be... They're gonna show this movie on October, and we're in July, and there's a lot of fucking clips showing around. And they're not blurry as well. They're like they look good. Like, the quality it doesn't look bad, some of the ones. I watched recently, like a while ago, I saw a Claudine and Deuce one, where he's just trying to talk to her for some reason, and then Frankie just follows Claudine, and then she tells her, "Oh, you like this guy?" And she's like, "No, oh my god, no." You know, that very dynamic that you see in every movie. Yeah, yeah. So that's something. So yeah, let's first talk about the casting and the whitewashing. Now, I think that they whitewashed certain characters, especially Claudine and probably Cleo. A lot of comments I saw on TikTok were regarding Cleo, was that Cleo wasn't played by an Arab actress, which I'm not really... I don't have a lot of information on that. I don't know. But if people say that she should have been played by an Arab actress, then she should, okay? I don't know the ethnicity or the race of the actress that plays Cleo, but God knows. God knows. I don't know. With Claudine, however, I have to say I do hate that it's been happening for a while that they're whitewashing black characters, especially black girls, darker skinned black women, and black little girls. They kind of use lighter skinned black women, especially like Zendaya. She's kind of like the main girl that they always use to portray a black girl. And I'm like, there's plenty of other black girls that can play a character. It doesn't always have to be Zendaya, but for me, Zendaya is like the token black girl for Hollywood nowadays. And not that Zendaya is not a bad actress. She's a great actress. It's just that I wish that there was more opportunities for other black and darker skinned women to be in Hollywood. You know, and I'm pretty sure they are. It's just that a lot of Hollywood is very like colorist, and you know, They really believe that they can't do that. I don't know. Like, that's how I feel, right? And I feel like in this case, I wish that Claudine was played by a darker skinned black woman, because I really saw Claudine as a darker skinned black woman. Like, I don't know. I felt though that this actress could have played a better role for Howleen, because for me, Howleen did look like a lighter skinned black woman, and she would have looked nice in that character. But I'm pretty sure they basically erased from existence Howleen, Claude, and Claudia. I think they're gone ever since the reboot in 2017. They're gone. They don't exist, and that's really, really sad. So yeah, and the fact that I feel like the casting directors, whoever the fuck were the ones that casted all these people, I think there's too many white characters, white actors and actresses playing these roles. And my main issue is these are monsters. Like, some of these characters have face paint. There is no reason for you to just use a white character. Like, yeah, that's just like your main option. Like, there's other options for you, and to also give opportunities to other POC actors and actresses. But then everybody just uses white actors as their primary, like, choice, and it's so upsetting. If they did it with Draculaura, since Draculaura, to me, I think she is played by a Filipina actress. So if she was there, if they let Draculaura be played by a Filipina, I think they can do that with other characters. Maybe like Heath, Deuce. I don't know. I mean, Deuce is a white character, but it really wouldn't matter, honestly, because it doesn't really change the storyline, and that's what I want to add. It's like, it doesn't change the storyline if they make a white character black. It really doesn't. So yeah. So why not spice it up a little bit and bring in more diversity, because it's looking really bland. Yeah. And a lot of people on TikTok, they initially didn't like it because of the costumes and everything, right? But then when Frankie came out in the trailer stating that they're non-binary, a lot of people were like, well, it's good again. It's good. What? Just because there's LGBTQ representation doesn't mean you should, like, ignore the other elements that they have. Which it might not be that they did that. It's just that I find it weird that people just hate it one day and then love it the next day. I don't know. And I think, yeah, there's black characters, right? There is Claudine and Headmistress Bloodgood, and that's the thing. Again, they let Headmistress Bloodgood be played by a black actress. Why couldn't they do the rest? That with the rest? Because even Laguna, to me, in my mind, it's not that Laguna's not black though. But I saw a video on TikTok where this creator did talk about and reference how he thought that Laguna was black because of her relationship with Gil, and it makes so much sense. Like, think about it; it makes so much sense, right? Anyways, I think they would have just, it wouldn't hurt, right? And it's just like the bare minimum at the end of the day. The next thing I'm going to talk about is about the harassment that the creator of the brand was having. For those of you who don't know, the creator of Monster High is Garett Sanders, and he addressed in his Instagram that he was receiving a lot of backlash for the movie, and he was like, yeah, I don't like, he understands that a lot of people don't like how the movie was directed and how the storyline was changed a lot, but he doesn't like the fact that he was getting harassed. His friends were getting harassed, his family was getting harassed, and I have to agree with him. It's just like, you may not like something, but you can't go as far as to, you can't just go as far as to like, not even publicly, but like personally attack this man. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Like, y'all going too far. Shit, we can't even have a friendly conversation, or just like a conversation overall, just talking about it without people just going full on hate mode, full on cancel mode. And I think that's something that we have to change, of course. And that's just another topic for another day. Right. Okay, so let's talk about the director, Todd Holland. Now, one of the main reasons a lot of people did not wish to support this movie is because of the director, again, Todd Holland. Now, a lot of criticism revolves around a movie he directed in the late 90s called Gryffindor's Tribe. Now, this is a very racist movie. I have not seen it, but from the pictures, Girl, it's basically brown face and ridicule of native tribes, Native Americans, just kind of like ridiculing their culture and white people dressing up as them. Basically like a costume. And even the storyline in itself, the premise is about like the father, he's like a anthropologist, a university professor, and he wanted to prove the existence of a made up tribe. So he decides to make his kids dress up in brown face and basically record them. And it's just a huge stereotype as well, and make fake footage of it. Are you kidding me? Crazy, 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 crazy. And I'm gonna share some pictures, of course, of the actors in the outfits, the poster, and everything. It's crazy. It's crazy. But other than that, I don't think there's any other problematic movies that he has done. I'm not defending him or anything. I'm just stating that it's one of the only few movies I've seen him do that's very racist. So yeah, I think, And this is another thing. The movie you can research in right now. Not this movie, but the Monster High movie we're talking about. Search for the producers. They have the information of the producers, the directors, the cast and everything on the Wikipedia or whatever. Yo, I researched the producers. I clicked on producers. Bitch, everybody is white. The whole lineup of all the motherfuckers are white middle-aged men. White old men. Are you kidding me? Like, no wonder there's not a lot of representation, there's not a lot of diversity if the producers and the directors are all white. What do you I'm like not even blaming you guys. I'm just saying in general, like, what do we expect? What do we expect? So that answers the question as to why it's going to be very shitty. Like, oh my god. And I'm just gonna state my opinion right now. So overall, I don't really know what to feel about the movie. I just wanna. I want the new generation that will grow up watching Monster High. I want them to just think about what they like the movie about. What do they think about the movie in itself? Also, Nickelodeon, they also have a partnership, the brand with Nickelodeon, to make a TV show that I'm not really excited about. I already saw some of the characters, the 3D models, because apparently it's going to be 3D. I'm not sure. It looks 2D, but I think that's just the art style and the way that it's being promoted. But overall, I think it's going to be 3D. Either way, I don't like it. I'm not a fan of it. Claudine looks like Howleen. Frankie is blue. Deuce is green. Draculaura doesn't look bad. She looks okay. She looks okay. Also, I never talked about Draculaura and her storyline. Girl, Draculaura does witchcraft now, and she's want to make it seem like it's a filthy thing. Girl, weren't they witch characters in the series? What? It's crazy. I'm bewildered at some of the things that they've done. And I feel like they're doing off-script kind of things that don't even make sense, and it's not really focused on the brand in itself. So I think that's why a lot of people are mad. Even I am pissed off. I'm like, yo, like, why would you do this movie if you're not gonna play by the script, if you're not gonna play by what the brand and the storylines of each character is about? And why would you erase a nice family like Claudine's? Like, I really liked all of their dynamics. I don't know, man. It's just, man, it's all shitty. Like, I don't know about that. And yeah, for those of you who are new to my channel, I have talked about how shitty some of the dolls they've been producing are, because I feel like they're so fucking cheap, and then they're like, what, $60, $80, and I'm like, this is not worth it for $80. A lot of these dolls look like they're from the reboot that they've made, the reboot dolls that look very cheap and they have very cheap clothing. It does remind me of that a lot. And I know that sometimes they put a lot of thought in it. It's just that the execution doesn't always come out as expected. But a lot of people eat that shit up. A lot of people buy it. And they keep producing things like that. So, yeah. And, yeah. It's It's very unfortunate that there's not a lot of representation nowadays, and there's a lot of fights and there's a lot of discussion whenever there is black characters introduced in series or brands, or white characters are changed into black characters. A lot of people have a lot of discussions about it, and it's very unfortunate because it's just like, it's so sad because I want to see representation, and a lot of people don't like it. It's also unfortunate though. I wanted to talk about this for a long time, but I'm going to talk about it here. Maybe I'll make another video elaborating on it a little bit more, but I'm going to talk about it here right now. I also don't like the fact that as artists, especially white artists, they like to talk about how they can't draw black people, or they can't really, they don't really know how to draw black people. And my question is, do you not know, or do you don't want to draw them? Be honest, because sometimes people don't like to be very honest and blunt because they know that they can get a lot of hate on social media, especially TikTok. TikTok is a ratchet ass place. I recommend artists to, especially white artists, to just really, it's just a Google search away. If you can draw black hair, because sometimes for me it's even sometimes harder to, I find it a lot easier if there's brushes that have the texture, like afro texture or braids, and there's black artists that sell brushes like that. So if you don't know how to do all that shit, you could easily support a black artist and buy their brushes and do it yourself. If you don't know how to draw skin tones, bitch, you can go fucking find it on Pinterest and on Google. It's just a search away. A lot of people just like complaining and just want to keep being safe, and you need to explore and get out there. I know that a lot of people have a lot of fear of being called out, being canceled, being said shit, and there's not a lot of room for just growth. Just growth as an artist, because if you're an artist, I know you had a point in time where you used to draw stick figures, because I used to draw stick figures. I didn't know how to draw proportions right. You can draw more, and now that we have the resources, it's more easier for us to find it on the internet and get references, right? So there's no excuses nowadays. Swear, there's not excuses. No excuse. Do your shit. Do your shit. Start drawing. Start getting it shit. If you don't like to share it on TikTok, then find it somewhere else. Easy as pie, right? And I think that's all I have to say regarding the upcoming Monster High movie. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and click on the notification bell to get notified of more of my content. And yeah, I will see you in the next video. Bye!